VOICEBOX is a Ticci Toby fanfiction consisting of 12 chapters and was first published on Quotev on the 29th of March 2014. Obviously, all signs point towards it being a magnum opus, so therefore I thought I would read the story together with you all, so we can dull the pain together. Each week, every Tuesday, I'll upload a new chapter. Let's call it Ticci Tuesdays. Now, it begins. VOICEBOX, a Ticci Toby love story. Chapter 8. Apologies for not uploading Ticci Tuesdays last week. I was sick, so here's something that will hopefully make up for the absence of it. Ooh ah, ooh ah, ooh ah, ooh ah, ooh ah, ooh ah. Why do fools fall in love? Why do birds sing so gay? And lovers await the break of day. Why do they fall in love? Why does the rain fall from up above? Why do fools fall in love? Why do they fall in love? Let's go, Chapter 8. The party was soon in full swing. Almost all the creepypastas who didn't live with us attended. The only ones who had not been invited were those that had tried to kill a member of our family before, such as the Rake, the Skin Taker, Jane the Killer, and of course Solgo. 3 of those are like the coolest creepypastas ever. Why were they not invited? Come on! Even though I was worried about Uncle Offender possibly taking Benna away, Toby and Father made sure that I enjoyed the party. Benna hung out with Ben, Glitchy Red, Lost Silver, Brother, and Strange Red. I left as I saw Benna drag Ben away from his DS and out onto the dance floor. So we don't get Solgo, we don't get the Rake, and we don't get the Skin Taker, but we get fucking Brother? Really? Father danced a couple of times with Benna, Phoenix, and me during the party, but spent most of his time watching from the side as everyone else danced. Oh my god, Slenderman is dancing! I was dancing with Toby when Jeff cut in. Before Toby could say anything, Clockwork, oh no, is Clockwork in this? Grabbed his hand and pulled him away to dance with her. I watched as Toby tried to get away without making a scene, but finally he just sent me a sorrowful look and gave in. Hey, sweet cheeks! Jeff was smirking as he wrapped his arms around my waist and pulled me close to him. You know, you should dump that loser Toby and be with me. I know how to please you better than he ever could. Jeff, I told you not to call me Sweet Cheeks, and I love Toby. If you don't knock this crap off, I won't even consider you a friend. I felt his hand slide down and grab my ass as he pulled me tightly to him. I pulled away when I felt how excited he was. I pulled my Skinner out my wrist sheet I had under my long sleeves and laid it next to the bulge in his pants. If you want to keep your manhood, I suggest you keep your hands off my ass and stop messing with me. We will never be more than friends, Jeff. This is why we are perfect for each other, sweet cheeks. We both like it rough. Oh my god, this guy cannot take a fucking hint, can he? He ground himself against me and licked my neck. I started twitching and decided that I had had enough. I willed my tendrils to wrap around his arms and remove them from me. Touch me one more time, Jeff, and I will gild you with a rusty knife and rub salt into your open wound, I said while twitching. I slid my Skinner back into its sheath, and I used my tendrils to hang him from the chandelier by the back of his pants. From the look on his face, I got the impression that he had a mega wedgie, so I don't fucking understand. Why have they not murdered Jeff yet? Because there have been characters in this story that have given VOICEBOX, like, that have given her not much trouble at all. Here comes Jeff that keeps on harassing her, sexually harassing her, like actually sexually harassing her numerous times, and he's not gonna fucking stop, but oh, he gets a free pass for some fucking reason? Do you understand me this time, Jeff? I will never be your girl, and quit calling me Sweet Cheeks. I heard laughter and applause coming from the others at the party. Wow, so just everyone stood up and slowly clapped? What is this, a fucking story on Tumblr? Father shook his head and laughed as Jeff struggled and demanded to be let down. My twitching settled down and I giggled evilly as he swung around on the chandelier. Toby joined me and wrapped his arms around my waist as he laughed and twitched. That is one unique piñata you have there, VOICEBOX. Toby chuckled as he hugged me tightly and kissed the top of my head. I hope you finally get the message, Jeff. VOICEBOX and I are together. No one and nothing is going to break us apart. Fine, I get it. Now just get me down. Fuck, I should have worn underwear. Damn wedgie. I couldn't help but laugh louder as Jeff yelled. Finally, Father removed Jeff from the chandelier and transported up to his office to have another talk with Jeff. Everyone else went back to partying. Toby and I went to the buffet table, grabbed some crepes and punch, and sat down at one of the tables. We talked and laughed as we ate. Toby even fed me part of his crepes. No wait, is it crepes? Oh yeah, it's probably crepes, you know those things, I don't fucking know. I blushed as I helped out his fork for me to take a bite. It was romantic, especially when I know he doesn't usually share his food with anyone. The party lasted until about 1 AM, when the last of the guests that weren't staying left after wishing me happy birthday again. Benna and Ben had left to go play video games shortly after I had opened all my presents. I got a lot of cool stuff, but my favorite presents were from Father, Phoenix, and Toby. Father gave me a ruby and sapphire heart-shaped pendant that had belonged to my real mom. Phoenix gave me 2 new black sheets for my Skinners that had silver foxes painted on them. Toby gave me 2 brand new Skinners. Skinner! The blades were black, making them perfect for killing in the dark since no light would reflect off them. The handles of the Skinners were wrapped in black leather and the end of the handles were shaped like fox heads. After everyone left, Father called Phoenix, Uncle Offender, and me into his office to discuss Benna and where she would live. I held on to Phoenix's hand for comfort and she gave my hand a reassuring squeeze. Father gestured for all of us to sit down before sighing and starting the conversation. Well, brother, it seems we have a dilemma on our hands. What dilemma? Benna is my daughter, so it's obvious that she should come live with me. Uncle Offender, have you ever raised a child before? Uncle Offender looked over at Phoenix as she spoke. It is not easy to raise a child. Benna has also had to deal with a lot of changes in her life lately. It would not be a good idea to change her life again right now. Dark Phoenix, I may not know much about kids, but I'm her father. I want her to live with me. Uncle, Benna didn't take being away from me well the last time we were separated. I know. Slender told me what happened, but I'm here now and I can keep her safe. Brother, I understand that feeling, but we must think of what is best for Benna. She only fully trusts VOICEBOX. Enough! Benna is my daughter, and she will live with me. When Uncle Offender shouted that, I heard someone run away from the door and transported into the hallway to see Benna running out the front door. Benna, come back! I started running after her as I heard Father's office door open. I saw Toby run out of the living room and heard him following me as I ran out the door. I caught just a glimpse of Benna as she disappeared into the forest. I felt tears running down my cheeks as I tried to find Benna. I had just gotten her back and I couldn't lose her again. She was my baby sister. I had to protect her. We'll find her, Shayla. I glanced over at Toby and nodded. I could hear the others out in the forest. Shayla, concentrate. You should be able to feel her. You have spent 6 years with her, so you know her aura. I heard Father's voice in my head. Father, where is Rebecca? She should be able to find her too. I am with Masky and Eyeless Jack. I very faintly feel her spirit. It's coming from your direction, but there seems to be other auras around her. We are about 50 feet behind you. Just keep going, we will catch up. As I connected with Rebecca, I could feel what she meant about auras. I barely recognized Benna's aura. It seemed angry and chaotic. There were other auras around her, but they seemed to be disappearing fast. Toby, she's not too far ahead of us. Toby nodded as we kept running. By the time we caught up to Benna, the last of the other auras disappeared, and I felt Benna's aura settle back down and was now clouded with sorrow. As Toby and I entered the clearing, I saw Benna sitting in the middle of a bloodbath. There were several bodies torn up and thrown around the cleaning, as well as the remains of 4 tents. As I ran to Benna and scooped her up into my arms, I caught a glimpse of the tattered remains of a Boy Scout uniform. Benna cried as she clung to me. "Sissy, don't let Daddy take me away! Please, Sissy, I don't want to leave you again!" Benna sobbed as she buried her face into the front of my dress. I heard and felt the others enter the clearing. I turned to look at Uncle Offender as he took in the scene. I could tell from his aura that as proud as this slaughter made him, it also worried him. "You fucking assholes! You just murdered innocent Boy Scouts! How is anyone supposed to sympathize with you?" I felt his need to raise Benna and Benna's need of both me and her father. As I rocked her gently and walked towards the others, Phoenix ran over and added her comfort to mine. It suddenly hit me, the best solution to our problem. "Father, I can't let her go again. What if we have Uncle Offender move in with us? That way she won't have to leave me and Uncle can still help raise her." As much as I dislike the idea of Offender living with us, it does seem to be the best solution. "Come, daughter, let us take young Benna back to the mansion and get her cleaned up. I will discuss this with Offender while you tuck her into bed." "Alright, father." Toby wrapped his arm around my waist as I carried Benna back to the mansion. Phoenix stayed right next to me, calmly talking to Benna and helping me comfort her. We took her up to her bathroom and helped her out of her bloody clothes, though oddly enough the bandage over her left eye was completely clean. Phoenix and I got Benna into her pajamas and tucked her into bed. She was so tired from the stressful day that she fell asleep as soon as her head touched the pillow. We kissed her forehead and headed to Father's office. Father and Uncle Offender called us in, and after hugging Father, we sat back down in front of his desk. "Well, it seems Offender and I have come to an agreement. Yes, since it seems Benna would suffer if I just took her to live with me, your father and I agreed that I'll move into the mansion. I'll be taking the room across from Slender's. We will also be converting part of the dungeon into a soundproof room so that we do not have to listen to Offender and his victims." "Thank you, Father and Uncle. I don't think I could have borne to lose Benna again." "Yes, thank you both. I'm glad to see that you no longer dislike each other. I still remember the fight you had over Mother when I was 5. I don't really know who is speaking right now, so I'm just making random voices. Well, let's just say that we agreed to disagree on some things. Indeed. Now it is late. You two should head to bed now." "Good night, Father, Uncle." Phoenix hugged them both and headed out of the office. "Night, Father, night, Uncle." I hugged Father and Uncle and headed up to my room. It had been a long day and I was really tired. I quickly changed into my nightie and fell asleep as soon as I laid down. I'm trying to hold back laughter, but all I can think about is Daddy Slendy. What kind of a fucking expression is Daddy Slendy? When I woke the next morning, I found Benna cuddling with me sound asleep. I smiled as I pried her fingers off my tail. She whimpered a bit before rolling over and settling down again. I took a quick shower and tossed on my blue bra and undies, a black t-shirt that I cut a hole in for my tendrils, black skinny jeans, and my black boots. The t-shirt had... Oh, suck my... The t-shirt had I don't suffer from insanity. I enjoy every minute of it. Written on the front in red. Is this a fucking Minion meme? This is a fucking Minion meme, isn't it? Oh, being insane is so much fun, guys. It's not a horrible, terrible experience like losing your sanity. It's so much fun, you know. Oh, yes. After brushing my hair, I woke Benna and got her dressed. She was wearing a green t-shirt that said, "You're just jealous, the voices talk to me and not you," in white. A white knee-length skirt, green socks and green and white running shoes. Who the fuck gives a shit? Her hair was held out of her face by a green and white ribbon, and her bandage was green with a white rose on it. Oh my... Once we were ready, we went to Phoenix's room. She was already... Oh my god! She was already up and ready. She wore a purple shirt that had, "I'm out of my mind, but feel free to leave a message," written in black. A black knee-length skirt, purple ankle socks, and black and purple running shoes. Oh, we all giggled as we read each other's shirts and headed to the dining room for breakfast. Toby met me at the bottom of the stairs and gave me a hug and kissed my hand as we all sat down at the table. Before too long, the others stumbled in and sat down. Father delivered all the plates and everyone started eating. Breakfast was quiet until Ben fell asleep with his head in his plate of pancakes and eggs. He woke up quickly when we all started laughing. We laughed even harder when he raised his head and we saw part of his pancake stuck to his face. Benna, who was sitting next to him, reached up and took the pancake off his face and ate it as she giggled. Ben's face turned bright red and he quickly wiped his face off. Just before everyone finished eating, Father stood up and called for everyone's attention. "As you all know, Benna is Offender's daughter. Since Benna does not want to move and leave VOICEBOX and Dark Phoenix, Offender will be moving into the mansion. I will need volunteers to help soundproof part of the dungeon for his work." Benna cheered while everyone else looked shocked. After a few minutes of looking back and forth between Father and Uncle Offender, Jeff, Eyeless Jack, Masky, and Hoodie volunteered to help. That day was just as busy as the last few had been. Phoenix, Benna, Toby, and I helped Uncle Offender move into his room while Father and the others worked on the dungeon. We were all tired by the time we finished, so Masky, Hoodie, and Toby went to town and picked up pizzas for dinner. I was surprised to find out that they had vocal cord pizza here in the creepypasta realm. It tasted so good and I could tell that Eyeless Jack loved his kidney pizza. After dinner I helped Benna take a bath and Uncle Offender tucked her in and told her a bedtime story. I had to smile at the picture they made. Who knew Uncle Offender had a soft spot for children? Oh my fucking god, that is so creepy. Uncle Offender, soft spot for children? Oh! I left them alone and transported out to the porch. I laughed as I remembered pride in Father's aura when he told me that I had inherited his transportation ability. For fuck's sake. Toby soon joined me on the porch and I leaned on his shoulder as he wrapped his arm around my waist. We just sat there looking up at the stars for a while. I giggled when I felt my tail wrap around his waist and he started to pet it. I looked up at Toby and he lowered his mouthguard and kissed me. I wrapped my arms around his neck and kissed him back. Soon his tongue trailed along my lower lip asking for entrance. Are you sure you're old enough to be listening to this? I parted my lips and our tongues briefly Our tongues briefly battled for dominance. When he won and started exploring... When he won and started exploring my mouth, I crawled onto his lap and kissed him deeper. After a bit, we broke the kiss for air, and Toby started trailing kisses down my neck. I moaned as he found a sweet spot, and he started sucking and nipping it. Oh my god, this is so awkward. I buried my hands in his hair, and his hands slipped under my shirt, caressing my bare back. I gasped when I felt him caress one of my tendrils. I hadn't realized just how sensitive they were, and how turned on it would make me. He held me tighter to him, and I felt just how much he wanted me. When I felt the hard bulge, I froze and pulled away from him. I'm sorry, I can't. I tried to get up, but Toby pulled me gently back down and wrapped his arms around me as I started shaking. I'm literally shaking right now, guys. It's okay, Shayla. I can wait until you are ready. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to rush you. Toby stroked my hair and rocked me in his arms until I stopped shaking. I will never force you to do something you don't want to do. I love you, Shayla. I love you too, Toby. I laid my head on his chest and snuggled into him. Before too long, I fell asleep, still cradled in Toby's arms, with my tail wrapped around his waist. That was the most fucking awkward thing I've read so far in this story. Jesus Christ. Tune in next time for Chapter 9.